When you push the button, it will show you your face.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. So, my name is Snouts, and as you may already know, I'm a small-time gardener who has been working in multiple different plots around my yard to just try and grow food in practice for my self-sufficient property that I want to develop eventually. Today we're going to be doing a lot of work in my gardens as it is the start of a new season and the start of a new month. As we move into April, I can start planting more plants, start more garden beds, and have to do general maintenance around my yards. Today the video will either be broken up into two parts or two entirely separate videos. The first being maintenance, which is building garden beds, cleaning garden beds, and etc. And the second will be planting. So I hope you look forward to joining me on my monthly maintenance of the garden. So here we have my furthest garden bed, lovingly called the truck garden bed due to the vintage F100 in the background. In this garden bed I'm growing my bigger crops. I have had some slight issues with locusts back here, but it's slowly getting better. Currently I have 4 different types of cherry tomatoes. Of course, my basil, which I mentioned in my last video. This is my basil that is actually protected from the sun. And then I have my watermelon plants, and as a pest control method, my marigold. The marigold was planted to try and keep the locusts off of everything, and as you can see, they have actually still eaten quite a considerable amount of my plants, but it is definitely reduced down. So this garden bed is for my bigger crops. I have a white mulberry tree, I have a lemon tree, and then I have my newest one. Oops, asparagus there. I have my newest one here, which is a red mulberry, which I'm trying to grow because white mulberries taste like grass. In the background, previously, in these tyres here, I have grown potatoes. I grew 2 types of varieties. One was purple and one was brown. That's about as much as I remember of my potatoes. Already, I have had some potatoes reshoot in this garden bed from where I left just little bits of offcuts. They weren't even potatoes, they were just plants. So today, we will be taking the best crops of these tyres and growing three stacks of potatoes. So in order to grow my potatoes, we'll be using 3 quite thick tyres. I mean thick by width, not by rubber. A layer of just premium potting soil in the bottom for the potatoes themselves to sit in. And my favourite growing method, which is the rest of it as sugarcane mulch. As the potato grows, we add more and more mulch and more tyres, producing and creating more of a yield. I have spaced the tyres this far apart so that they don't have to fight for nutrients, light, or even shade. They will equally get it as the day goes on. As you can see here, I have placed, you might need to come closer. I have placed newspaper underneath the tyres in order to stop and discourage weeds from coming through and fighting my potatoes yet again for nutrients. So I've already done one here as an example, and I will then now be doing these 2. So here you can see that each tyre, full sun, each tyre has about an even level of dirt in each. So, the next step in my April maintenance is I'm actually going to be prepping this bed here, which is just made out of a simple pallet, into a garlic bed, as well as a bush bean bed for this season. So as you can see, I've already undercoated it with just a simple house undercoat, but it has been sitting here for quite a while, and grass has grown behind this bed and my main bed here. Part of my April maintenance is that I will be killing this grass in a natural way, as well as doing the final coat on this bed so that I can prep it for the garden. I will be using the classic prep method of a leftover spray can that my mum bought in the wrong colour. So it is a scarlet, but it actually comes out as an orange. This is an enamel exterior and interior paint, so it will adequately protect my bed, making it last for a lot longer. This is what you have to do when you use a wood bed. finished doing just the roughest coat of spray paint, because that's all it needs. I'm just trying to protect the wood, not necessarily make it look pretty. I'd just like to put the reminder out there that if you are doing this at home, not to follow my really bad example and to wear proper PPE, also known as personal protection equipment. Gloves are a great example, but I've never been known to wear gloves, and a face mask so that you don't get high off paint fumes. So while we wait for that to dry, we'll be moving on to our next project. Soil as well as the shade cloth beneath it. At the moment I don't actually have enough soil to plant this bed, so until tomorrow, which is when maintenance number day 2 will start, it will just sit here and rest, and we will move on to the next part, which is planting seeds. I have a lot of seeds that we'll be planting today. A photo.
Right.
So, before we start our planting, obviously we need our 2 best assistants to help. Here we have Calamity Jane, also known as Poopy, and we have Luna. So today we'll be planting multiple different types of seeds. In season here in subtropical Queensland, we have leftover snow peas from last year, a packet of new snow peas, a packet of carrots, some more sunflowers, and of course some radishes. I like to keep my seeds in a container in the fridge in order to increase their longevity here in Australia. So let's go do it. In the orchard / truck bed yard, I will be doing a number of chores here regarding to planting. So as you can see here, I have my various types of tomato, as well as my basil and my watermelon. Come here. I have just caught a locust on my plant. Oh, I dropped him. I dropped him again. Come here. Ooh. Where'd he go? So the biggest thing I've noticed about having a backyard garden is the amount of wildlife that have started to come back to our yard. Previously we've owned a lot of cats and the wildlife is slowly being depleted. Birds stop coming, so do bugs because they get eaten. This little guy, who I have now named Jeremy, is mainly my problem in this backyard. Oh, look, he landed on another watermelon. You missed him.
How am I going to eat him when you put so much?
Did he still taste like basil?
Yep.
So, like I said, we'll be doing a number of seeding activities here. One of the biggest things about the tomato is that it's an upwards growing plant. They are vines, and I'm growing them up a trellis. So this means I am able to underplant here below. So in my bucket full of tools, I'm going to grab my little rake, which I don't know what it's called because I just got it because they were offering it, and dig away a little bit of the mulch for now, so I can see with what I'm dealing with. because of where this bed is, I end up dealing with a lot of extra seeds coming up from the trees that are surrounding this yard. What do you think? Carrots or radishes, Dad? I'm doing a line of each, but which do you reckon would do better with this?
Carroties. And put radishes down the middle next to them or whatever. Yep.
So we've elected to plant carrots in this area. And we've been working on this soil for a while, so it is a lot nicer than it used to be. It used to be heavily compacted red dirt. And here you can see that it's full of organic matter. This is from mulching, horse poo, sawdust, and mushroom compost. So I just have my packet here, and then my leftovers in here, and I'm just going to not really particularly care about how much they get seeded out, because I will thin them as they grow. With those seeded, we will just push the dirt back over the top. And recover with mulch. And they'll get a big drink here in a moment. Next, doing the radishes. We're going to plant them in a very similar way. And I'm just going to dig the soil a little bit because this is where I've been leaning. So both carrots and radishes are a quick growing crop that will allow us to get a harvest here in just a month or two. These ones had the decency to stay in the packet. Yet again, because radishes can be grown and eaten as a microgreen, I'm not taking particular care of how they are getting sown in this trench, as I will weed and thin them out as they get bigger. And we can eat what grows and we thin. Either way, you still get produce in your garden. And nothing goes to waste. Over here, as an experiment, I have let these potatoes go. Cool, I'm not going to fall. It is on my shoe though. No. We have a potato. We got another seed potato. So because this potato had been growing without my knowledge, so I like to keep my seed potatoes in a dark bag in order to discourage them from growing. Well, rotting more to the point, because they will rot in the sun. These beds are going to be for royal blue potatoes and Ottaway reds. If you are interested in seeing how I plant my potatoes, consider staying tuned for the planting part of this video, where we will be continuing on with these beds. Because this has been left to just do its own devices, it's grown a few new trees, plants, as well as a potato that I had not realised. This potato has then been eaten by bugs and started to grow itself. So we are just going to replant this as a seed potato. Let's continue to see.
They grew while you were in Noosa.
Yes, while I was travelling to visit my fiance. We've got a few new plants here that I'm going to replant back out and see how they go.
I'll grab the tire and you can get in there properly.
Centipede. Millipede? Thing with lots of legs.
Centipede. Unlike the ones in Noosa, they don't kill you. Don't tickle, but they don't kill you. Oh, I'm sorry. It kill you.
Yeah, everything here kills you. And here we go. Another little potato that has sprouted. So we are just going to take these and repurpose them in the new beds. My first worm. We'll let him go back.
Yeah, let's see. You'll come out with your wheelbarrow and your shovel. Pick that soil up. That's really good soil. You spent 12 months making that soil.
I did. So, back to the planting. We're going to take all these plants with us, with our seed potatoes, because I don't have as many. And this way, we'll be able to get more plants and more potatoes. So we're going to put these in this bag for now. And go to the bed. So here is my first time growing corn. The thing about corn is that its stalks aren't the strongest and they often end up breaking. So as a way to companion plant, I'll be planting these snow peas around their base and using the corn to grow the snow peas up. To do that, I'm just going to dig my hot finger in to create a hole and then drop a snow pea in. I'm trying to grow a lot of snow peas this season, as last season I only grew about 3 plants and none of my harvest would make it inside. I would eat every single snow pea off the vine before I made it into the house with them. So I'm planting 5 in each bed, 3 at the back, and just 2 in between. Peas are a really good companion plant for corn because you can use them to support each other. To the next bed we go. So here we are at the main bed again. You might remember it from the video where I built this trellis. If you haven't seen that, there will be a link in the description. So here you can see we already have started some corn and they're at the quite considerable stage. All I can smell is spray paint.
And they're carrots.
They are carrots, not corn, my bad. And I also have a red capsicum. Finally. So what I'm going to be doing in this bed is I'm just going to be planting my snow peas now that they're in season.
Near your posts. Near your posts. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna go here.
Yeah.
So the first place I'm planting is here against my door trellis.
As the rotary goes past.
Yeah.
At least it's not jet planes today.
Yeah, it was jet planes. I heard a lot of jet planes when I was editing the last video. I've lived here so long I don't actually hear them now. It's only the Super Hornets I hear.
Then 13B rotaries.
So as you can see, I've just planted them yet again with the method of just quite literally digging my hot finger in to make the hole, pushing the seed in. I'm also going to be planting some around this pole here. I'm not going to do it with the rest, as the other 3 will have to fight with my tomato for sun and nutrients. So we're just going to put my leftover seeds back in here. struggle with a Ziploc,
Too technical.
and we're done with those for now. So, from earlier in the video you saw that we planted and started these potato beds with very little soil. These are not done. Potatoes, I find, grow a lot better when they have least resistance to fight with the soil. For this reason, I've been growing them in sugarcane mulch. So I have 3 beds and 3 types of potatoes. 2 different types of seed potatoes, and then one of these beds is going to be aimed towards trying to get these to grow in a better way. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these 2 so that this one has a better chance without this one fighting.